Well, this is a video I certainly didn't intend on doing as recently as a month ago, but here we are. The entire non-essential world is basically shut down, and the United States is now the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic crisis. The implications of this have already been felt by virtually everyone, as local businesses are closed indefinitely, sports leagues are suspended indefinitely, and most colleges and schools have been relegated to online instruction at least through the end of this academic year. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's been a rough year for me so far. I don't want to come off as somebody looking for sympathy right now because I've got a tragic sob story or anything. I'm just being real. I don't do well with uncertainty, and there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. No one knows how long this is going to last because heck, we're only just starting to deepen our knowledge about the fundamental aspects of the virus itself. I do take comfort though in knowing that, and I hate to be cliche here, things could be much worse. 102 years ago, when the last pandemic of this size hit the world was just starting to come out of a world war. When the world was put on hold generations ago, our ancestors were asked to be prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for our country. The world is being put on hold now, and we're being asked to stay home and do homework, watch Netflix, and play video games. I don't know about you guys, but I for one am thankful that I'm living in the latter of those times. But enough about all that. You guys don't live under rocks, you know what's happening right now. I want to give you guys an update on me, and this channel in particular, and what I'm planning to do over the next few months. First and foremost, I've definitely had better days, but generally speaking, I am doing okay. I'm back home in Delaware, settling in, continuing my classes online, getting by alright. I was planning on driving back to Gordon for the day on April 17th to retrieve my stuff, but literally right before I hit record on this, we just found out that since Massachusetts is in lockdown until at least May 4th, we won't be able to move out until at least May 4th. And even then, I'm sure the lockdown could get extended and our move-out dates pushed back even further. It's a fluid situation, and to be honest, I have doubts about starting classes back up in person come August. This is probably not going to hit its peak for another couple of weeks. I have to say, I am a little frustrated because I do think college students, particularly seniors, have been hit hard by this quarantine. I'm missing out on half a semester with my friends, my track season got canceled right as competition season was about to begin, and since I'm not on campus, I can't work my job in the mailroom. I'm not going to tell you guys how much I make, obviously, but 8 weeks of work is a sizable amount of money that I'm never going to see now, and I know a lot of students are in the same boat. And as frustrating as all that is, college classes are still carrying on, and we're all trying to learn this new format and technology on the spot, students and professors alike. Even though we're getting some unexpected time with our families at home, the life of a college student isn't exactly sunshine and rainbows right now. Now, one of the clubs of which I'm a part at Gordon is Scott Radio, our college's student-run radio and podcast outlet. I do 2 podcasts, which you probably know if you keep up with this channel, and both have just gotten a lot harder for me to do. The first podcast is The Ben Schneider Show. It's my personal show, and it's something that I was really inspired to start after binging Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s podcast, the Dale Jr. Download, this summer. I just love the idea of bringing in a guest every week to have a conversation and get to know them a little bit better, understand how they came to Gordon, what they're studying, in case of my teammates, their running history, how they got started in the sport, all of that. It's something I look forward to every week, and now that we're all quarantined, I was originally thinking I was going to have to put that on hold for a while. But after a couple of Zoom classes, I figured, why don't I just talk to a guest via Zoom, record the Zoom call, and have that serve as the podcast for the week. So that's what we're going to try to do. I've got a couple of guests lined up already, plenty more on my list that I'd like to talk to, and we're going to see if we can't keep the ball rolling and pump out new episodes when we can. My second podcast is a bit more complicated right now. The Photo Finish is my motorsports show where I talk about one of my main passions in auto racing. Obviously, like virtually the whole rest of the world, all major forms of motorsports are shut down right now for the foreseeable future. At this time, NASCAR is only officially postponed through May 9th, but that race is supposed to take place in Martinsville, Virginia. And Virginia just went on lockdown until June 15th. North Carolina, where most of the team's based, is also locked down right now, so yeah, it's gonna be at least a little bit longer before we get back to racing. Call me a pessimist if you want, but honestly, I don't see us hitting the track again until 2021. Maybe the cases will peak early and soon, and the social distancing will help, and I'll be proven wrong, but I just don't see it happening until we get a vaccine, and best case scenario, we're still probably 12 months out from that. But hey, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, that's just a guess on my part, so take it with a grain, or honestly probably a mountain of salt at this point. NASCAR still wants to get all 36 races in this year. They've talked about running midweek races and double headers if and when they come back, but I just don't see how that's going to be logistically possible. They've also talked about running races without fans in attendance, but I really don't even know if that's an option at this point. They were going to try that at Atlanta and had to abandon it, and then we found out someone at the track actually tested positive after the fact. Basically, if it's not safe for more than 10 people to be gathered together right now, when you factor in drivers and teams and crew members and media, safety personnel, and all other essentials for holding a race, you're looking at probably at least 1,000 people right there. If it's not safe for fans, I don't see how it's safe for the teams either. I know a lot of people are looking for answers, and when are we going to be back, how are small teams going to get by after this shutdown is over, and no one really knows. All I can say is I think the world's going to come out of this looking a lot different than it did going into it, and what that means for the future of motorsports in America and worldwide, I have no idea. All this to say, while stuff's on hold, I don't anticipate there being very much to talk about. Probably the only major news that's going to break is iRacing and esports results and stuff being pushed back even further. Speaking of iRacing, definitely make sure you guys check that out. The first two quote-unquote Cup Series races have been great, and we've seen names up front we don't normally get to talk about, so go show them your support. So I'm putting the photo finish on hold for now. That's not to say I'm not going to talk about motorsports at all on this channel over the next few months, but I won't be doing a regular podcast every week like I've been doing. So what else is there to cover? Well, I do enjoy making videos, and I'm going to have some extra free time on my hands while we're in lockdown, so I do have some video ideas floating around that aren't podcast related. I've actually already done two. I did one on the rise and fall of the US Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which, by the way, is coming back in about a week in prime time on ABC with Jimmy Kimmel, so make sure you check that out as well. And I also did one on Family Trade, the failed GSN reality show flop that I, for some odd reason, loved. I covered the history of that show from start to finish. The Millionaire video is actually starting to get some traction, the Family Trade one not so much, but I have other game show and motorsports video essay ideas out there. I just haven't had the time to put them together. I mean, time isn't super abundant when you're taking 12 college credits, working 12 to 18 hours a week in the mailroom as student manager, running D3 track, and trying to find an internship for the summer, which actually, if everything in the sports world still shut down, how am I gonna, you know what, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So that's basically what I've got going forward. I'll be trying to keep my personal podcast stuff going as I can, and I may be posting some random videos here and there on stuff that interests me that I think has a good story worth telling. The way I see it, now's as good a time as ever to start cranking out content. If you're looking for something to watch or listen to in the meantime, go show the Millionaire video some love. Who knows, maybe it'll even get you excited for the revival coming up soon. Also, of course, every episode of both podcasts is available on this channel. Some great stories from teammates and friends on my personal show, and lots of racing stuff from the past year and a half on my motorsports show, so make sure you check that out as well. Until then, I'm Ben Schneider. Thanks for watching. You all stay safe, and take it easy.